A residential neighborhood in Omaha, Nebraska back in 2001 might not seem a likely place for someone to go missing, especially a 6'1", 19-year-old young man. Yet that's what happened in the case of Jason Jolkowski. Jason has been described as shy and quiet, with a small group of friends. He had a slight learning disability related to speech and language, but was otherwise considered to have higher than average intelligence. After graduating high school, he was working part-time at a local Italian restaurant and was attending Western Community College, having decided to major in radio broadcasting. He hosted the college radio station and was coming into his own. On June 13, 2001, his boss from Fazoli's restaurant called to ask Jason if he could come in early. Jason's car was in the shop, but he asked a coworker for a ride. Since he had difficulty giving directions, they arranged to meet at the high school where they had both graduated. Benson High School was only 8 blocks from Jason's home, and he was very familiar with the area. They agreed to meet at 11 a.m. Knowing the walk would only take about 15 minutes, Jason decided to finish some chores. Around 10:45 a.m., he was seen by his brother and a neighbor taking in the family garbage cans. Then he headed out for the rendezvous, carrying his red Fazoli's t-shirt. By 11:15 a.m., Jason hadn't arrived at the high school. Once the time was approaching 11:30, his coworker became concerned and went to a nearby gas station to use a phone. She called Jason's home, and his brother informed her that Jason had left about 30 minutes earlier and that he should be arriving soon. Still concerned, she called Fazoli's and was told by the boss to just come on in. Jason was never seen again. The Jolkowskis reported him missing, but thinking him a runaway, the authorities didn't start a formal investigation until 10 days after Jason vanished. His coworker and boss were interviewed and cleared of any involvement. Police checked camera footage from the area, but Jason was never captured anywhere near the high school. He hadn't taken any belongings with him. His bank account has never been touched, and his final paychecks were never cashed. His cell phone was never used after that day, and his car never picked up from the garage. Online theories about what might have happened to Jason include running away or being the victim of a hit and run, but there was no report of any accident in the area, and his body has never been found. Did someone stop to offer him a ride? Would he have gotten into a car, knowing his coworker was waiting for him? Could a neighbor have asked him for help and some accident or something more sinister have occurred? After lobbying from Jason's parents, the Nebraska legislature passed Jason's Law, which provided Nebraska with a statewide missing persons database. Jason's mom, Kelly, has been devoted to advocating for missing persons over the years and earned awards for her work. There are no clues or evidence in this case.
Uh-oh. So you guys can't function when I'm not here, apparently. We're live. Say hello.
Hi. Well, I didn't know that I looked up and you were gone. I didn't know you were gone. Somebody was like, is it running on your end? I'm frozen. I'm like, it is for me, but I didn't know who hosted
I like the uh-oh. That was great.
Hi, guys. Apparently, I cannot be left. I cannot leave you guys without me. So, hi. I have a little technical issues. Hold on. Let me make sure, like always, everything is set up the way it should be.
I was looking at photos.
All right. You're off the hook. Harlow, no excuse. Okay. Okay, welcome. Welcome. We're here and you can hear me. Welcome to True Crime Psychic Guy. This is a unique true crime show where we look to balance logic with intuition, facts with intuition. Thank you for joining us tonight. Let's quickly meet everybody. My name is Miriam. I'm a psychic medium. I'm a teacher of spirituality. Harlow, who is the backbone of the show. She's a researcher, writer, artist. She chooses the cases, produces the videos. You can find her books available on Amazon at Harlow Dane. Denise is also a psychic medium, life doula, and Reiki healer who helps women align with their inner wisdom to become their own maven. Myself and Denise do not follow, read up, or research true crime specifically so we can come in fresh and know as little as possible, except for, of course, high profile cases. Sometimes that's unavoidable. This episode is new for both myself and Denise, right, Denise? Yeah.
Yep.
We are excited to announce, as a lot of you know, we launched our Patreon back in January, and we are very grateful for all of the support that we have seen. You can find us at Miriam Farish because we have a lot of different type of content over there. If you like paranormal, we have paranormal content and, of course, exclusive true crime content. Due to the diversity of our work, this is why you'll see multiple tiers, some paranormal, some true crime. Join us for exclusive live chats. Like after tonight's show, we'll be over on Patreon discussing what we discovered, what we found out. We have exclusive cases, content. For those of you that are already a part of the community, we're going to be adding monthly drawings so you can win some of our merch. Community members will also get first looks at upcoming cases with the opportunity to do their own research and then contribute some questions that they might have. Tonight, we do have a few of those questions. Those will be addressed first. Plus, you will also get bonus content from our tier 1, which is called Weekly Soul Support. This is a place where Denise and I will be posting videos to keep everyone energetically supported each week. And like I mentioned, if you are into the paranormal, you guys will have that option as well. So we have also added one extra little, one addition to the show. This was a conversation I believe the three of us started with, and then maybe Denise and I finished the conversation, where we're noticing after we do some of these cases, we're feeling a little heavy, sometimes even a little anxiety ridden because of obviously the nature of what we're reading and learning about. And, you know, as we were talking, we realized we're not the only ones that feel that. Like, that's not a psychic thing. That's not a medium thing. That's a human thing. And so we're going to start after each episode starting tonight. We will be doing a very brief, short, clearing, grounding meditation. Sometimes I'll lead it. Sometimes Denise will lead it. And then I'm also going to be uploading. I have a lot of meditations on my personal Miriam Farish YouTube page, but I'm going to send some of those over to the Patreon page as well, so you guys have access to those. And then we'll also be uploading them to newer cases that we upload, so you have that right after the case in case you need it. Any questions about that, please let us know. Oh, hello. Sorry about last week. Whoopsie. As you guys heard, I've been moving and I just got ahead of myself. I thought that I could do a lot more than I could, and was stuck in traffic and driving from LA last Thursday. And so I apologize for having to cancel last minute. But I'm glad we're back this week. Because of that, we will be back again next week. So you get your 2 cases in the month of February. Tonight, this is an interesting case. We've been waiting to do this one for a while. This is 19-year-old Jason Jolkowski. He was headed out walking to meet a friend for a ride to work on June 13th, 2001. They had arranged to meet at the high school, only 8 blocks from Jason's home, but he never arrived. And then he was never seen again. So we are going to dive into this one. Let me upload. Harlow, why don't you start with, we have Megan from Patreon. She's got some questions. If you want to open with that while I upload our facts.
Okay. Okay. There we go. Took a minute to load. Okay. Actually, Megan had 3 or 4 questions, and since she's the only one, what the heck? She's asking, was this a pre-planned abduction? Was the employee calling Jason in? I thought it was the boss calling Jason in, but she's asking if the employee or anybody that he worked with was involved. And she also said, I listened to a few other psychic reads on this case, and surprisingly, all felt there was a man or a woman, a couple involved. I can't wait to see what you guys get. And she also asked, was he targeted by someone in his church? So that's quite a few.
Yeah. Okay. Let's Harlow, if you could just ask the first question. Let's just go one at a time.
All righty. Was this a pre-planned abduction?
Right now, I'm feeling yes. What are you feeling, Denise?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay.
And then when I don't remember, go ahead. Ask the next question, Arlo.
Was anyone from his work involved?
No.
No.
And then she's asking, was there a couple involved?
Going with yes.
Ah. Interesting.
Okay.
And was it someone from his church?
I do feel that it is, was he Mormon?
I don't know his
Because I'm feeling someone
religious
from
affiliation.
what I believe is a Mormon church. It feels to me like Mormon. I don't know if that has any correlation to them taking him as much as it just, that's what I get when you say that. All right, let me take a look at this really quick. Let me pull up these pictures. Definitely not the parents.
No.
To me, this is there's a male and a female that did it, and it feels like there's unfortunately a sex trafficking type component. Sort of a use and abuse and let go type feel.
There's no indication he was Mormon.
Not him, the people that took him.
Yeah.
I feel like his body was left in a like something deeper than a ditch. So what would be deeper than a ditch? A crevasse? What city? What town?
It was in Omaha, Nebraska.
Okay, go ahead, Denise.
The card is a crow. So I'm getting as the crow flies. So I don't think they buried him or whatever. It's not in the same state. It's not in the same town. I'm seeing like 2 towns over, like birds can fly far, and they don't fly straight. So I feel like he'd been being followed by these people, and it was just the right opportunity. And I know this kind of sounds weird, but it's almost like these people bribed whoever was supposed to work to stay home, so they would call him in so they could do this.
So you're saying they took him from his work?
No, because he was on his way to work. I feel like the person, I feel like because this is logic. If you're going to do something like this, you're going to pay attention to somebody's workplace. You're going to, what I mean? You're going to know the habits. I feel like they went to one of the coworkers and said, hey, we'll pay you more than what you would make if you were to work. Somehow or another, they figured out how to get this coworker, unless this coworker was part of it, based, kind of going back, and that's why they called Jason in, and how they were able to abduct him, because they weren't going to follow him around every single day. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Did he accept a ride from someone on the way?
No, he was forced. He didn't know these people. This was completely, it feels to me like a typical grab, what do they call it? They just grabbed him and threw him in the car. The man that, see, it doesn't really, what I'm feeling and hearing is that it doesn't matter that how big he was or tall he was. You throw someone off balance and you're done. And he was caught off guard, and he was caught from behind, and he was thrown in the back of a car. These people do this a lot. This is part of a bigger ring, and they're paid a lot. And this ring, it's like a traveling circus, it feels like to me, where they go through places and take people. Like what I'm also hearing is sort of like, what was that old movie, Revenge of the Body Snatchers?
Okay.
And this is something where people need to not only be walking in twos, but walking in twos and threes. And I feel like it feels just sort of rampant, and being very hyper aware of who's coming up behind you when you're walking on, if you're walking on a, this is what I'm being told, they're walking on a highway that just isn't very busy. This isn't going to happen on a busy road. The way that this happened couldn't have happened on a busy road. Jason obviously did nothing wrong, but they just keep hearing this is common. These people do this regularly. They're paid to do it. These are paid. So
it's their job.
Yeah. So they aren't the ones that are they take the child or the person and pass them off. So this is also where it's very hard to track these abductions, because the actual people that snatched in the first place disappear.
Yeah.
And they disappear from the country.
So the question becomes, is he still alive?
No. I don't feel at all that he's unfortunately still alive. I feel like I said, they use, abuse, and discard.
And I feel like these people, like you said, they leave the country, but I think they do this all over. Like they aren't,
yes,
it's like they do it here for a while, and then they leave, and then they go a different country and do it for a while. And then, so they're always moving around. I've never seen Invasion of the Body Snatchers, so I have no idea what that's actually about. But I feel like it's, that, like, remember that movie with Liam Neeson where he was trying to find his daughter?
Taken, or was that Taken?
Yes. And it's almost like that, where it's like they're moving like place to place to place to place, so that they can't really ever be tracked.
Yeah. And they're professional. This is not like, we did a case recently where we were like, these people remember, it was,
yeah, they just didn't have their act together.
Yes. And we were like, they hadn't, anyway, this is not the case. These guys have this down. It's, they know.
They have it down to a science, so to speak. It's like they know. God, this is awful, but they've done it so many times that they know by the height of a person, or about what the person weighs, how they're going to do it. and they just, like you said, they come up, it's like a surprise attack, and they don't, whoever it happens to, sadly, has no idea what hit them until they're already in the car.
Yeah. And
You know,
it's
like,
very fast.
yeah, it's like they don't even have time to react or scream or yell for help or anything. It's just,
And these people are tied to a lot of other cases that were never, quote unquote, solved. So these people, we've seen these people before. One of the Madeline McCann.
Wow.
Who's that? The hunter. They're
Ew.
hunting people. I know.
Ew.
I know. That's
Ew,
awful.
Denise.
I know. I mean, what it really says is track down your fears, but
Timing is, yeah.
yeah. And I'm getting a sense that because he already struggled with his communication a little bit, because of the fear, it was even harder for him to talk.
Yeah, it would have been, sure. Under those circumstances. Yeah.
Like, I just keep hearing almost like he was stuttering because he was so scared that he wasn't able to get his words out, like, you know.
Who is his grandfather?
Oh. Grandfather, trans, and grandmother.
And
No idea.
who's Gus Lamont? Hi, Benno, by the way. I feel like he got snatched up too.
Oh, good. Violet made it back.
Any possibility? Anybody he was taken to, and I have no idea if he was gay. One of those retrain. No. I mean, that's a interesting point, but I don't feel that at all.
That's a different case, you know. It's like,
yeah.
Okay. I was looking at, oh, that is.
So two of you felt like, so Benno and Anita felt like he was taken to a camp. I mean, obviously anything's possible, but I was shown pretty clear. He was taken, he was brought somewhere, he was utilized, then he was released, and he's in a crevasse somewhere. And at this point, his body is decomposed. But honestly, because this was in 2000, right?
yeah, 2001.
Yeah.
But his remain, like, you'll find a shoe. They'll find, if they went and if they could track down this crevasse. Let's see, where did this?
Yeah, it was Omaha. Is it that area far from where he was walking?
Omaha, Denise, you said 2 towns over you felt? And then, Harlow, what was your question? Was what far?
Where his body is that, how far is that from where he was walking, where he was taken?
It's not real far.
It's a very isolated, like, there's no houses. I mean, it's mountain and then a big space and then 1 or 2 more mountains, and then it's like this crevasse, I guess would be the word. And
20 miles keeps coming into my mind.
yeah, I could feel that too. I could feel that. That feels right.
Yeah, so it's far enough like he wouldn't have gone on his own,
Yeah.
but it's not that far if you were driving.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't feel any energy from Jason at all.
I didn't get a thing the whole
Mhm.
time I was working on it.
He's
So how about like Council Bluffs? That's Iowa though, but it's not that far. I don't know. I don't know. I'm not familiar with Omaha. A lot of different things come up, but a lot of the ones are residential. So that doesn't fit. I
Yeah.
don't know. I'd have to really look at a map and get into it. It's kind of hard with a phone.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
And it's so isolated. There's not homes for hours. Hours. And they didn't have him long. He passed. They killed him fast. They got what they needed, which feels like video. And they don't keep them long. There's a reason for that. They don't want to with boys, I'm hearing, they don't want to be tracked down. With girls, they tend to travel them. But for some reason not with boys.
Were they aware he had a learning disability, and would they have been aware that he would have such a strong reaction and not be able to function?
Do you mean, do the abductors know that?
Mhm.
I don't think that they cared.
Yeah.
And this is gross, but the thing that came in was there's somebody for everybody.
Yeah. I mean, that only makes it easier for them.
Yeah. Benno says he's getting stomach pain. Was he kicked a lot?
It very, very well may have been, if you're feeling that.
Mhm.
I don't dive into the details.
Yeah.
But if you're feeling that, yeah. Hold on, what's this? Wonder if related to the Franklin child prostitution ring, which began in June 1980 in Omaha, Nebraska. That's interesting. That very well may be true.
Yeah, that was, I don't know, it's icky.
But if someone can find a shoe, maybe they can eventually find him.
Sorry, I was reading through the comments. So
I don't feel like there's much left of him.
Right. Probably not.
Here,
Because
there are no mountains within 100 miles of Omaha. There are rolling hills and valleys.
okay.
Okay. Rolling hills. Okay, so then what I must be seeing is that rolling hills, and then the valley makes sense because that's what I was thinking. And yeah, there isn't much. There is not, but there's a shoe left. That's going to be what.
It's the shoe was black, so it's kind of gotten dirty, obviously, after all this time. Because most restaurants you have to wear non-slip shoes, and most of them are black. And since he was on his way to work, I would presume he had his work shoes on. So I know that's not really helpful in regards to like, okay, there's a lot of black shoes out there, but it would be a black shoe.
So where are the parents at with this now?
Yeah.
Are they, has this case like resurfaced again, or has it just been nothing for 20
There's
years?
I mean, his mom has been involved advocating for families and has done a lot of good work and been rewarded with honors for all that she's done. So she's stayed busy and helped a lot of families, but there hasn't been anything in the case.
New on hers.
So what does it mean that you can't really feel? Megan, can you, unless you guys understand that question, can you expand on that? I'm not following what you mean.
I could be wrong, but I think she means when you said that you couldn't feel how your physical body was when he was getting kicked. Oh, that you can't feel Jason's energy. Oh, okay. How do I describe that? It's like his soul is also not got any energy left in it. I don't know, Miriam, how would you describe that? Because it's a lot of times when I feel people that if they've passed on, I can still feel like an energy, like their soul is on the other side. It's doing what it needs to do over there. And I just feel like he's sleeping. So I don't know if that means his soul went through all his lives or what.
So and when I say when I feel what Denise is feeling, every situation is different. So there isn't one situation where it's the same with all souls. But in this situation, his soul feels to me as if he is in what we would in human terms would be like a therapy, a rehabilitation, and they are cut off purposely from human connection so they can heal and the humans on earth can heal. I've seen that a lot, but for different reasons. And this situation is we aren't supposed to be communicating, connecting. He is not supposed to be communicating, connecting. In this situation, it's because of the amount of suffering that was endured. There's a rehabilitation that has to take place, just like there would be if he were a body. The spirit world and the physical world mirror each other in many, many ways. And this is an example of that.
Yeah. He's getting rest,
Waiting 10 days is crazy from the police involvement. Why did they wait 10 days?
That's often, especially back in 20, 30 years ago, a lot of the time they would wait. The police department just wouldn't do it, thinking that the kids have run away or this or that. A lot of times it's lost.
And what show was it that we did that then shortly after that, they passed a law that within 48 hours?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's different in a lot of states now, but back then this was really common, unfortunately.
Yeah.
That's too bad.
Well, it is too bad because I think, especially when they're adults, because he was 19, even though obviously he was still living at home and all of that kind of stuff, but being the children are considered adults at 18. But a lot of them are still at home. So they're not what I would call a full-fledged adult yet at 18 or 19.
Sure. Benno was saying it was like a replay for me after a stomach hurt. So he was really experiencing that. Didn't have much chance of catching any evidence. Yeah.
No, not at all, Anita. No, not at all.
What is it about him that made them target him, or is it just being in the wrong place at the wrong time? So I'm not going to do it, but if you get in the mind of a sex trafficker, whatever that is that they're wanting and needing, looking for, whether
Mhm.
it's for services or for video, that's what they're looking for.
Mhm.
And they also have this is what I'm being told, they also have a sense of who's vulnerable. This is why, again, this is interesting. This is the first time I think I've been given information intuitively on sort of safety tips. This is why they talk about, like, you hear, I mean, I was taught this in school too. I don't know if they still teach it, but you know, if you're walking confidently, this is an energy that is perceived. You know, if you're looking around, if you're saying hi, if you're making eye contact, that's letting people know that you are aware of your surroundings, that you aren't vulnerable. And so seeking out, this is what they're telling me, they look for all those things. There's a reason why the police department talks about that and says, walk like you mean it. My mom used to tell me that all the time, walk like you mean it. It's true. That's what I'm being told. It's true.
And it's so easy to fall out of that energy of walk like you mean it when you feel like you're in your own neighborhood and you're safe.
Yes.
Right? Because he
So
was just
true.
walking, he was probably walking the same blocks he walked for 4 years going to high school.
Exactly.
So true.
You know, same mailboxes, same yards, you know, same neighbors, you know, just not even really paying that much of attention, you know.
You know, I mean, obviously this is just, I don't have statistics on this, but I just, you know, people always talk about how big cities are so filled with crime and dangerous, but these abductions happen in rural, small town, quiet areas. These abductions aren't happening off the streets of Los Angeles.
Right.
I mean, there's a reason why, because they're packed with people. The amount of people that will see what's going on. I mean, I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I'm just saying, like, it's crazy. It's just, I mean, you always hear the same thing. It's these sleepy towns. It's these quiet towns. It's these safe neighborhoods. And anyway, treated as a runaway makes zero sense. He was in college. He had a job and plans. Makes me so angry. Yeah, of course, that's not true. He wasn't a runaway. They can drink alcohol. Maybe I missed something. Do you feel trafficking will ever be stopped? It's not the trafficking you need to stop. It's the human behavior you need to stop. And so it's about, because trafficking stops if humans are not only raised, but also there becomes an awareness and a consciousness of that lower chakra, that lower triangle chakra, where everything comes from the sex organs. And there's this needing gratification, immediate gratification, and not knowing how to manage that part of the body and that part of the chakra system. And that comes from a more conscious upbringing. And I'm not saying by any means that parents are at fault. I'm saying that individuals are responsible, and people around individuals, like people speaking out and saying, if you see a behavior that is inappropriate, stopping it. I mean, it's like you ask a loaded question. It's sort of like if you say, is money the root of all evil? Well, money's paper. It's the humans that are managing the money, right? So, you know, it's the same thing. It's, let's get behind the trafficking, and you have people that are, some people are born with mental illness and some aren't. So I don't put the emphasis on the actual act of it. The emphasis is on how humans are choosing consciousness or not choosing consciousness.
Yep, sorry. You were at the same time I did.
Right? Has he tried to contact his mother spiritually? I mean, I don't feel that.
I don't think so, no. And the reason he hasn't is going back to what Miriam said also is that his soul is in healing to get over the trauma that he faced here in this lifetime. And so he's not really capable at this point to be able to do that. And like feeling his mother's energy, she still misses him terribly. It's not that that has ever gone away. However, she's channeling her energy into helping these other families.
Right.
And that is helping heal her soul through the trauma of losing her son in such a tragic way.
Mm-hmm. Benno, you're really connected to him.
Yeah.
Maybe there's some work you can do to help him. Not that he isn't receiving whatever he needs, but it could be that you guys are have been together in other lifetimes, and there's a connection there, and there's work you can do to help him with healing. Is he a soul that may never reincarnate or will just take time? Well, it's up to him, right? Who's to say? Who knows? We don't really know what people will choose, what souls will choose.
He might choose to rather come back as a beloved pet rather than a human even.
Yeah. These are all really good questions tonight, though. Everyone's really connected to him and really aware.
Yeah, this is a sad one today.
It is. Of course, that's the fun part, Megan.
I don't know if Megan was here earlier. We did answer your questions.
Yes, they're all in the beginning.
Yep.
Yeah. They are aware, Big Kitty, that they are going to have these experiences, but we don't remember until it happens. And then we get back to the other side and then we're like, oh, that's why that happened.
Part of stepping into your consciousness is about remembering just that, remembering what you came here to learn. A big part of, without going too deep into this, because this can be, if you're not ready to understand it, it can be misinterpreted. But when we are victimized, if we step into a higher consciousness of understanding, we can take that victimization and see it for the choices that were made in how we wanted to learn and evolve in this lifetime. But that looks and feels different for everybody. And that is a hard place to get to, but a very realistic place. So you'll hear me talk about, and I'm sure Denise all the time, talking about remembering who you are as a spiritual being first before you come into body. And what that means is your consciousness carries all your memory from your past, present, future lives, carries all your DNA. So if you start to remember who you are as a consciousness before you enter body, you're remembering all the lifetimes, you're remembering what you came in for, you're remembering why you're here, you're remembering all of this. And that memory recall doesn't necessarily stop things that have to happen, but it definitely can shift, adjust, and help in the healing process of what you've already been through. And it can shift and change what is to come, because if there's a consciousness and awareness and I'm going to dumb it down, but I don't feel I need to go through that again, then you can stop unhealthy patterns from happening in your life. And I say I'm dumbing that down because it's not that simple. You have to go through those 5 steps of consciousness for years on a daily basis to be able to really, really understand that from a soul level. But it's definitely accessible. This is why when we talk about the 5 steps to consciousness, it isn't just one class or one book that's going to get you there. It's your personal daily practices combined with classes and books and whatever else you're drawn to. And just like anything else, the more you do it, the better you get. And the more you remember who you are as a consciousness first, and you remember why you're here. And when you start to remember why you're here, this is when your life starts to change. I did connect at first, and then he just started sending me this stuff. I still don't know how this gift works when it happens. So it's interesting because Benno, one question you can ask yourself is he sending you this information, or are you experiencing the information? And when you can make that association, like, am I speaking directly to him, or am I witnessing something? Then you can better understand your psychic skill set. Your psychic skill set, because you felt the pain in the stomach, obviously every now and then I'll feel something through my body, but it's very rare. Denise, I think sometimes you feel stuff through your body.
I do. Yes.
Yeah.
And it just depends on who it is or who I'm reading, because it sometimes I just feel all of the emotion and it'll all come in at once. And I get very emotional, like I'm going to cry, like I have to release. And then other times I know, and I've worked with clients, if I'm doing a session, sometimes I will have like a pain in my knee, for example, and they've had an issue with their knee. So, because then I'll be like, oh, have you had a problem with your left knee? And they'll be like, yeah, as a matter of fact, I, was hiking and I tweaked my knee. And so I do get that myself. And then probably one of the better ways to do that is after you feel that and you want to disconnect, then you need to do a clearing meditation. And there's many things you can, I mean, Miriam has things on her channel. We're going to start doing them here. But a very simple one is, you can just ask your guides to cancel, clear, delete, and release anything and any cords that are not meant for you to continue with, and let it go, and, work that way. Because sometimes it just has to be that quick and that simple.
Mm-hmm. It's true. And if anyone wants the 5 steps to consciousness, just email me. I'll put my email up. And Benno, you have learning how to manage your skill sets is, again, what you gain from the 5 steps of consciousness. It's repetition. It's making sure the body is clear. It's making sure the body is strong enough to hold energy when it comes in. There's just a lot of aspects to it. So, and then it's just practice. But yeah, you guys can email me and I can send you the 5 steps to consciousness. It's free. It's for everyone. Ah, yes. That's in regards to what I was talking about as far as, trusting the process. Yeah. Oh, Benno, you felt like you were witnessing. Okay, got it. Yeah.
You're welcome.
Harlow, I have a question for Harlow. How do you realize the energy you come across with research I'm sure it can be a lot.
It's a
release. Oh, she's saying release. Sorry.
Oh, release. It's hard to really put into words. If I feel like there's something I need to deal with, I just kind of do in my own way, but it doesn't happen that often. I don't get into it personally. I don't attach to it, but sometimes I pick up a little bit from it.
I think that also speaks to when we were talking earlier about do you feel energy, right? Like Denise, if Denise were to sit and research a case, I'm speaking for you, so please jump in and stop me. I'm assuming if you were to research a case, you would have to do like releasing and you wouldn't obviously choose to do that because of your skill set. That wouldn't make sense. But go ahead, pick up from there. You go ahead and speak to your world.
Oh, I was going to say I would not be able to, because I am I just would take too much of that on. It would be really difficult for me to even be able to release all of it. And it would then start to affect my day-to-day life. And I would no longer be able to do it because it would just be too heavy and too much for me.
Yeah. But everyone's personalities are different, which is,
Mhm.
and we're all born differently for a reason. This is why, and just because Denise feels to that degree and Harlow doesn't take it on is neither here nor there, good or bad, right or wrong. And I sort of land in the middle of that where I wouldn't choose to do it, but I can read stuff and walk away from it.
And for me, it's like I'll see things. They'll send me images or something will happen when I'm recording, and I know it's all connected, but I don't take it on usually emotionally. Once in a while, I think I've had a headache, but that's about the extent of it.
It's an interesting point.
Yep.
All right. That was a interesting case, as always.
Mhm.
And I love that the conversation went where it went. That's beautiful. Always our favorite.
Every time.
Right? It's what we love to teach and discuss. And it always makes us happy when we can go through something painful together and then learn something from it. I say that lightly because obviously I'm not referencing Jason's family, but for us. Go ahead.
And the card is Sage, and it's be devoted and committed to your journey, your wisdom.
That's a good one. All right. So for those that want to stick around, I'm going to do a quick grounding meditation. Actually, tonight we'll do releasing. And then for those that are part of Patreon, you can also join for a 7-day free trial. Patreon at Miriam Farish. We're going to follow up with our conversation tonight. We're going to do a post-show discussion. Well, post-show is next week. Sorry, this is a live show wrap-up discussion. Thanks, you guys, for all the great questions, and thanks for being here. So for those that want to stick around and do a quick little meditation, just wherever you're at, unless you're driving a car, close your eyes. And let's do 3 releasing breaths. So deep inhale through the nose, then exhale, blow it out. Okay. Wherever you're at, just allow the breath to move at its own pace, no longer forcing the air. Just see if you can allow the belly to gently engage with the breath. Not forcing, just noticing how the belly moves with the breath. Placing the right hand over the belly and the left hand over the heart, or whatever feels good for you. Bringing your attention to the lower spine, to the tailbone, to the root chakra. And we're going to feel, see, imagine energetic limbs, just like limbs that come from a tree, and they're going to root all the way down into the center of the earth, locking you in, holding you. So feel, see, imagine from the tailbone, these roots that reach down into the center of the earth, locking you in. Imagine it, feel it, see it. And as these roots lock into the center of the earth, we allow anything we no longer need to move down into the roots and into the center of the earth. Mother Earth takes in all that we no longer need, recycles it, and sends it right back out. So allowing yourself to just let go, no longer needing to hear, see, feel anything that is not yours. Feeling the roots pulling you, grounding you down into the center of the earth. And then bringing your attention to the cosmos and feeling, seeing, imagining this white light with some pink, purple as it washes over you, streaming down, running through the system, running all the way down into the center of the earth. And so we now have these roots that are locked in, and we now feel, see, imagine this light that comes down from the cosmos through the crown of the head, and it just washes you clear, removing, releasing, letting go. Feeling the chest move with the breath under the hands. Feeling the belly rise with the breath. Just be still for a moment. No longer visualizing. Just feeling the breath and the body move. Just feeling yourself rooted. Allowing yourself to be fully present within yourself and with the energy around you. And then whenever you're ready, gently open the eyes, rub the palms of the hands together. And placing the palms wherever you feel the body could use the energy. So maybe it's on the chest, maybe it's on the belly. For those of you that feel a lot, place those hands over the belly. The belly is where we connect psychically, physically, energetically. Okay, you guys, anyone? Oh, good. Benno, I hope that worked for you. What's next week's case?
Go ahead. Next week's case is Aisha Degree. It's a pretty well-known one. It's a 9-year-old girl.
Oof. That's a toughie. Okay, yeah. You guys. Well, thank you very much, Harlow. Thank you, Denise. And we'll see those of you that follow us on Patreon. We will see you over there in about 5 minutes for our live show wrap-up. Thanks, you guys. And we'll see you next week.